And him and Luther go out in chapter 19, The Spider in the Alley. They go out on the town to go walk around a little bit. And it is night outside. There's a new moon, which is important because that's when Zaxis said that he was going to confess his love for Lyvia. And this feels very fairy tale-esque, waiting on the new moon. It's a boat of love. And as he's making his way, as Volk and Luther are making their way back, they hear that a thief is being chased down the street. It's a plague-ridden Anansi Arcanist who is stealing a moon rabbit to give to his Eldrin so that his Eldrin can consume the magic. So Anansi is a spider, a giant spider, which we'll see a little bit later. And in addition to Volk, the Knights Draconic also show up, and they assume again that Volk is an Inquisitor and say that he's going to be able to take care of it, and they're letting him do his work. As the man's running it down, we do see the Anansi actually show up. It comes kind of from the nearby rooftops and rains down upon him.
Just want to say, how is it always Volk getting into trouble, walking around, not supposed? He's so concerned about everybody else walking around by themselves, and here he is getting into trouble.
Yes, he's coming from prison too. He just got out on bail, and he's already getting back into trouble. But he is happy to save the day, so he ends up using the shadows to grab the rabbit and is actually able to successfully target his terrors at the Arcanist and the Eldrin. So he's able to do it without affecting the Knights Draconic or any of the other people that are in the area. He ends up killing the Eldrin, which is important because the plague is actually tied to magic. And since the man no longer is tied to the Eldrin's magic, he's no longer infected by the plague. So they're able to almost question him and realize that he was infected near the mines, so the guards can go and investigate and try and figure out what caused it.
Luther was actually telling Volk, stay your blade, do not kill the guy after the Anansi was dead. And this is kind of showing us that Luther, although he wants to be protective and, looking back at with Fane in Dreadpire Arcanist, he wanted to kill Fane because Fane was a bad person. This guy was not, he was doing bad things, but more so because he was infected with the plague. And as soon as he was no longer infected, Luther was like, okay, he's harmless. You don't have to kill him anymore.
It is a very, very interesting point and shows, one, Luther's understanding of the magic and how it works, but also, like you said, understanding some of the good person in a bad place versus a bad person who's trying to hurt you. After this nice little escapade, Volk ends up returning to the guild, and he finds out that they are going to be competing in the tournament, but due to the number of participants, they're actually going to be partnered up. So he and Zaxis are going to be together, and then Lyvia and Hexa are going to be able to enter. And Zaxis is actually happy that Volk's on his team because that means at the end, once they split up for the semifinals and the finals, they'll be able to fight each other, and he can prove he's better and win Ilya's love, essentially.
That's all he cares about. I swear, these two are like Guy Lee and Kakashi from Naruto. Just the way how competitive they are and always button heads. And I feel like one person, Volk, is kind of the I don't want to constantly be competing with you, Zaxis. And Zaxis' Guy Lee just I don't care. I'm going to show that I can beat you.
Yes, they're constantly going at each other.
And before we wrap everything up, we also want to, again, remind everybody to keep an eye out on a solid release date for the Time Marked Warlock, as this is going to be coming out sometime in April. And again, this is Shammy's new urban fantasy book. So keep an eye on Amazon for when that's available. And we, like always, we'd like to thank Dan Mackison, our editor. And you can find us on Podbean, Google Podcasts, which actually will be transitioning to YouTube Music. So if you haven't switched everything over to there yet, you might want to get doing that soon if you listen to Google Podcasts. We're also on Apple Podcasts, and we have our Facebook group, and we are on YouTube. So if you want to see us as we're talking, and Dan does a great job at putting in images from the awesome source Frith Chronicles Fandom Wiki. He he does a great job getting that pushed over to us as well. And if you want to get a hold of us, you can get us at frithguildpod@gmail.com or send a message to us on Facebook or comment on the page. You're also on Discord. Scott, are you on Discord yourself?
I am.
For the Capital Station Lounge?
Capital Station Lounge, yep.
So, Scott, do you have anything else to add today?
Get ready for the tournament. It's coming.
Thank you for listening and stay tuned.